Okay, hello everyone. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon from where you are from this part of the world. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining this session. Let me just quickly know if you can hear me very loud and clear, and if you can see my the screen itself. Can you just give something on the chat just to acknowledge? Okay, great, great. Thank you. Let's start this our discussion for today. So the topic for the today discussion would be very interesting. You can see on the screen itself, it is more on a panel discussions where we are going to have very open discussions among ourselves, and it's a great opportunity for everyone to ask some of the questions if they have, and they can clear their queries itself. So the topic for the today's session would be why there is a need to pursue an MBA in data science, right? So I'll talk very short about the data science itself, and then we'll go into the depth. But let's see first that let me introduce myself. So my name is Pranjal, and I am one of the co-founder and the CEO of Exaltis Private Limited. So today I will be the host, and I have the privilege here to have a couple of people who can actually share their experiences, and they'll be able to help answering your questions as well. So I'm the moderator for today's session. So we're talking about the data science itself. Uh, it's a kind of buzzword, right? Everywhere we can hear people are talking about data, data analytics, data science, and so on. But in very short, if I just want to conclude something or summarize that, what is actually the data science? So it is basically something that can give a valuable output, from the raw data itself, right? So for any business, for any companies to take any decisions, we need some kind of analytical, help, and the data science is the tool, I would say, where which we can use some of the things using maths, stats, AI, and different things, computer languages as well, to handle a very large amount of data and then convert that data into some meaningful insights, and that's how the business grow. So with data science, for sure you can do a lot of things. For example, just giving you a very small example in supply chain, the retail industry itself, that you can, for example, apply some kind of promotion on some particular product that you want to sell it, right? Even if you don't want to sell something based on the data, based on the things that you can see from the data insights, you can actually see that which products users are not liking, so you can discard those products as well. So this is just a very small example that what you can do. Now, if we talk about the industry or the domain or the sectors where the data science is used, it's actually we are using it everywhere. So being it health, engineering, computer, law, pharmacies, or being a social literacy, marketing, business and finance, any industry, there is data, and that's why data science and the data analytics exists, right? So now it's very quite common that data science is very important. I'm pretty sure that you guys are here, meaning that you can actually you can actually see the demand in the market itself. So we'll talk about this thing today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat box here. And also this session is on live streaming, so you can see on the different platforms. If you are joining through the streaming from any social media platforms, you can post your questions there also. So please feel free to ask, and then we can start our discussions here. So the idea here is, now we know what is data science and we know why it is important. But the main theme is, how does an MBA degree will help in doing in the MBA in data science will make a difference for your career, right? So like I can see that, okay, people are kind of, they know some of the things that they want to learn into data, they try different online resources, but why having a specific degree, and that also in MBA in data science will help you in boosting your career and building your career prospect also. So for this better to directly hear from our experts. So today it's our privilege to have some of our industry speakers, people from different academics as well. So I will introduce very quick introduction. I will give it to you. So Mr. Malikarjun is currently working as associate director in data analytics area for Essence Mediacom. Now he has vast experience in analytics and the data science. doing different things for different global markets. Now, Mallikarjun comes from industry background, so we'll hear from him directly that why data science and in what way data science is important in industries, and how the industry players are actually looking for any data scientists and so on, and why the degree is also important, right? That we'll directly hear from industry expert. Next, we have Dr. Rajendra Patil, who is one of the senior in University of Mumbai, who is currently leading as a principal and author and researcher for one of the renowned and reputed university and the school. So he's kind of heading a lot of different schools and the universities, mentoring them, guiding them what to do. So today we'll hear from him as well that why having an MBA degree exactly in this data science is important from an academic side of perspective as well. Okay. And next, but not the least, we have Pranav Dubey. So Pranav is currently working as a senior manager in training and development side of the Exaltis Private Limited, and he himself has done MBA in data science. So let's directly hear from him that what are the things that what he learned, what are the things that how the things MBA doing in MBA in data science impacted his personal growth and professional growth as well. So let's, without wasting our time, we can start some of the questions that what we want to do. And of course, if anything is there, you can please feel free to ask questions in between. We'll make sure that your questions or queries are answered properly. So yeah, so now let's move toward directly to, I'll go one by one. So hello again, Arjun, Dr. Rajan and Pranav. Thanks again for coming, and we will have our very kind of interactive discussions today on some of the topics and the queries which even I have. Okay, as I want to know that, okay, what's going on different sectors, what's going on academic side, and why this particular MBA thing is required in terms of the data science. I can see because as a training company, we are also part of it, and we see that people are putting a lot of effort in learning the things into. But why having a proper structured way of learning is important. So maybe I'll ask some few questions which currently I have, and then probably we'll see that how our discussions goes on. So the first question would be from Arjun. Again, we really want to know from the industry side that based on your thoughts, why does and maybe how does an MBA in data science help actually any individuals stand out in the job market? Having an MBA degree, how it helping the candidate? So maybe you can share your thoughts there.
All right. Thank you for the introduction, Pranjal. And first of all, a very good day to you. Let me just ask you one thing. Am I perfectly audible to everyone?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. All right. So getting to the question, how does an MBA actually help in a data science degree? So we'll have to trace back. For me, what worked is I first worked as a data scientist and a senior data scientist for the first 5 years after my master's degree. And then after a moment, I started to realize that I have hit a plateau. When I say a plateau, there is only certain things that your technical expertise and your technical skills can take you somewhere. But if you want to go ahead to the next step, like if you want to think of the product design of a data science solution, or if you want to think about, how do you hyper optimize the data solution, not from the machine learning and algorithm perspective, but for the business, right? Either you'll have to, you'll need two things. Either you'll need to be an industry expert already in that field. But since I was in the tech department, I was only working on marketing. So I had no idea how supply chain worked. I had no idea how, things like manufacturing and all these industries worked. I didn't even know how does data science in the geopolitics and geoeconomics actually work. So if you want to get some perspective on this, and this knowledge, right, it actually helps you in any field, because it makes you adapt to the requirements. That is, simply be useful for the business first, not to the algorithm that you're working on, right? So there's
Yeah.
a huge difference over here. So the business requires you to understand the whole business, understand all the stakeholders, understand the market and everything, and then try to apply the algorithms and then the codes that that can solve a particular problem. So MBA actually helped me have a deeper understanding of the entire situation and a few more things as well.
Okay, great. Thanks. Meaning that, of course, when you have the technical knowledge, you actually want to marry the business knowledge as well, the domain expertise as well, along with the technology.
Yes.
Yeah, completely understand. I think that is very important. So based on that, if I ask you that, what are the some specific skill sets that probably employers are looking for to have, to have in a data scientist if they want to hire?
All right. So very first thing is that, all right, in a data scientist, I mean, your technical skills are absolutely required. But apart from the data science skills and your knowledge of machine learning algorithms and AI, what you also need to know is, how do you manage the risks when it comes to some data that is not available, but then you know that it could be an important factor in influencing the decision of your algorithm. How do you actually now work around and then get the data somehow by, communicating with the stakeholders better, right? And then how do you then communicate after you get the results? How do you communicate the results or the insights to the business stakeholders, because they are not going to understand things like, okay, what is the accuracy, what is the F1 score, and all these data science metric that we talk about, right? They do not have an understanding. We are not, as a society and as a corporate society, we are not at that level of understanding and deep technical expertise yet. There are going to be always situations where the upper management, they have not done a core data science degree like you or I have. They might have, done their general BBA and then went on to do an MBA, and then with their immense expertise of the business, they might have become the top management. How do you communicate your insights that, something that you're trying to build will be effective, and then how much dollar value is it going to save, or how much more incremental business is it going to bring towards the entire P&Ls. So these are some kinds of the skill sets that are absolutely required for you as a data scientist to be more integrated into the company's overall business architecture, and for you also in order to become a much more, I would say, a proficient data scientist. Now, I'm not talking about being extremely hands-on. That absolutely, yes, it is necessary. But yes, in order to become more proficient data scientist or more impactful data scientist, I would say, you also need to know how do you communicate these results and insights to the stakeholders and management, and that is a situation where you can actually get a step up, because not everybody has the knowledge of this. Not everybody can do this. Not everybody can sell a data science product either internally or to external clients. There are many people out there who are data science engineers. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the people who are extremely good at hands-on. But there is this very small pool of people who can be engineers as well as be salesmen. Now,
Yeah.
if you are in within that pool, right, then it will be very easy for you to actually get an easy step up.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in short, I mean, the companies for sure at the end of the day, they want dollar value, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So those who can give them, they really want to know that skills, want to have that skill sets along with the technicals.
yeah.
That's completely true, Arjun. So thanks for that. Thanks for sharing your experiences. I will again come back to you, okay, for the next set of questions that I have for you. So now let's come to Dr. Rajendra Patil, sir. So, sir, being in the academic side for so many of years, and you have vast experience in like kind of mentoring and doing the other like enrichment programs also for the universities and the things. Based on your experience, what do you think that what is the like significance of this combining business education with the data science skills today in today's market? I mean, if you talk about the today's professional landscape, this business plus the data science skills, the technology, how it can what is the importance of this combining thing together?
Uh, Hi all. Let me just check. Am I
Yeah,
clearly
yeah.
audible?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. So, the Pranjal, like as you mentioned, there was a demand from the industry.
Hmm.
Like the job profiles has been changed. The nature of work has been changed. So while designing the curriculum and all, so we also need to align our academics with the industry standards. If we'll see 2 years back or 3 years back, whatever the kind of academics we were having, so it was not allowing the students to get the proper jobs, and it was required like they were supposed to do some additional certification programs. So the technology like data science and all that was there, although, but still in academics thoroughly it was not existing. So the recruiters, while having the campus placement and all, while interacting with them, we generally take the feedback, and we also understand what are the requirements from the industry, and accordingly the curriculum and all, it has been aligned. So whenever we were just dealing with the students and all, so when we say the MBA degree, so obvious the background of the student that comes from the different backgrounds. The students are from IT, or they are from basically from commerce, or management, business studies and all. But as the digitization that exists everywhere, the business operations has been changed. Technology is playing a very crucial role, not only in the industries, I will say now in education also. So this is demanding highly now. Every employee should sharp their skills, and they should get well acquainted with the technological things. So as this digitization, as it is generating the huge data, and when we say the data which really needs to process and generate the knowledge or the facts that will help the business communities and all. So when it has been realized, so at the same time, many the universities or the we had a lot of discussions, brainstorming along with the industry people also, and then we came out with such programs that will map their employability, or that will help the students to get properly linked with the whatever the job profiles they want, and with the good perks, obvious.
Yeah.
So as we realize, even the difference, we also realize that student with the data science and all. So it was not a purely data science initially. We introduced with the business analytics and all these concepts. And the student who didn't opt that particular as an elective, so the job profiles, what they got it. So that made realize the students as well as the teachers also that what industry demands, and then accordingly now curriculum and all that has been completely reviewed. And obvious, I will say now, so this is the demand from the industry, demand from all of us, which is making this particular program the need of an hour, I will say.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I think that's very true, Dr. Rajan sir. So basically, it's really coming from the demand itself when you want to see that how you what you else you want to put into your curriculum to make sure that you are industry ready, right? So that is the basically now goals of the organizations and the universities as well. But coming to that point, if I ask you, because you're part of your curriculum, the overview curriculum and all the things also. If I ask you exactly how does an MBA in data science curriculum is different from a usual data science program, because you can see online a lot of data science programs are there, but how specific a MBA can help and how it is distinguished between from the others program that what we have.
Yes, obvious. MBA in MBA data means a student with the MBA data science degree. They are at a very different position, because it see, MBA is for the people who are confident and who want to explore their managerial skills, or who has the good command on their managerial communication, as well as who can work on the strategies. So to work strategically, which is a really important factor for the industry, because without strategies, the industries cannot work.
Yeah.
So the people from, or the students from the MBA degree, it really matters a lot, because during their curriculum, they learn and develop their strategic management skills. They learn a lot of analytics. They learn how to operations, the business operations. They learn how they can make their means how the business processes can be optimized. So many other things are there which is not been introduced or taught in the traditional or any other specialized programs. We can say there is a AI data science program or AI ML program, which is with the masters, but not with the machine MBA. So MBA already they have the business managerial skills, and adding this data science as well as this analytical skills or strategic level skills. So this definitely helps the company or the corporate, and as well as it also helps the customer also to understand. I mean, they are the players who bridge the gap between the skills, as Mallikarjun rightly mentioned that there is always the gap between the operation people as well as with the top management. So these people, the people with the MBA or having a qualification of MBA, they fill up this particular gap and they play a very important role, who understand the operations, who understand the management side. So because if this gap exists, then the business may not grow. So according to me, obvious, I will rate this MBA with a data science program really very well required, as well as these are the people who are very well required for the industry and for the growth of the industry. The technical people work on the technical level, the managerial people work at the managerial level, but people from the different background, if someone is having their specialization with management, someone with the specialization in technology, or someone with the specialization, even I will say the civil engineering or any other field. But when they are joining this MBA program, so automatically in the respective business sectors, you can say the civil engineer, even if he's a civil engineer and going for MBA with data science. So this can help the construction company or the big corporates where analytics or this data science is now opening different verticals in the corporate sector.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, sir. I think just to summarize, I think what I completely understand that MBA not only teaches the technical skill set, but also the soft skills that is required for an industry, right?
Yes.
Like when it comes to like leadership, when it comes to effective communication, when it comes to teamwork, and that's how applying the thought process of the data science technical skills as well, it actually helps a lot for an industry. So that's how it is different. So agree with you, and thanks for again sharing some of the things that what's happening in the universities, sir. I will again come back to you after some time. Let me just pass my next question to our next panelist, Pranav. So Pranav, completely understand that you have done your MBA in data science, and now after that you are working with in data science domain itself, doing multiple things. Let me ask you very open. First question is, how has your MBA in data science helped shaping your career path? Because from your background, if I know you were not in data science, you're not from the data science background, but you did MBA in that. So how that helped your completely career trajectory itself?
Thanks, Ranjal. Actually, before me, Dr. Patil sir mentioned that time had changed, and I have also witnessed it. I believe now the companies, they want jack of all and expert of one. So having the expertise here with some technical expertise in data science, as well as having managerial skills, can really help actually. With just the technical expertise of data science, one can be good at good technical backend work, like Mallikarjun mentioned in the beginning. Let's say developing an ML or AI-based application, the backend work we are doing. So initially, I was involved in such tasks, like developing predictive models, but I wanted to move towards some managerial roles also, and kind of handling project and product management, of course, related to data science. The missing part here was that I didn't have experience in the management. And now I had two options. Either I wait for a couple of years to get the experience, or maybe I could go with MBA in data science specialization. to master over these skills, along with the, I would say, potent combination of the data science. And I believe that really paid off very well. And now companies are also looking for, I would say, data smart managers. So companies are looking for data smart managers, be it anywhere. You are looking at the middle management or top management also. And I believe that courses like this really help. It has helped me in further shaping my career path with both of these expertise, technical expertise of data science, as well as the managerial skills to understand the difference between and bridge the difference between the product development and product implementation or project implementation. So I think it has helped me.
Okay. Okay, great. For sure. Thanks, Pranav. So on that note, now you're working, after you finish your MBA, now you're working for a couple of years already. So if I ask you that, how this, integration of what you have learned in, in your MBA courses curriculum, the business knowledge that you gained there and the data science skills that what you have, how now both are helping you in tackle some complex business scenarios, complex business cases that what you kind of solving. So how this combination of business and technical is helping you?
Okay, previously, like if we go 10, 15 years ago, a lot of people or those who were managers used to take decisions based on gut feeling or just on the experience. But now we are living in a globalized world. We have team members from different industries, from different locations, different cultures. So we have customer base from different culture. One set of advertisement or marketing campaign does not work in all the countries, all the places, for all type of audience. And this is also we need to understand here. So the business process, understanding of the business process and data science. In my current, and I believe people like me also take decisions based on the evidence. I believe this has helped me in moving from taking the data dependent or just gut feel alone decisions to data driven decisions. And I think if we take any business decisions, it's important that our strategy is supported by the facts. Nowadays, whenever as a manager, whenever we are taking a decision, so we have a lot of time on a stake. We have to take the of our team members, the investors, the stakeholders, everyone. And I think when we are presenting our recommendations, our interpretation with the business acumen as well as the facts that we have got from our technical expertise, I think that fares well in any strategy making. Like Arjun mentioned in the beginning that it's important that we are working on any project. We also understand how these things are going to work in the market. Like having knowledge of, let's say, one is a marketing analyst, maybe they also need to have knowledge of the markets as well as the data side, so they can analyze the data and they also understand how to interpret it. So having this knowledge can really to interpret our findings and also see that this will really work in the business or not, really work in the market or not. So yeah, I think the business knowledge and data science skills really help here. Yeah, the combination actually helps. Alone is not a time where we can take decisions based on the alone business knowledge or just alone the data science. We have to combine it everywhere it's happening, and we have to do it. I think it's a need of the hour.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Pranav. Thanks for highlighting those things. I think that is very important when it comes to really for the businesses to make sure that there is some kind of the business knowledge and the domain expertise must be there, and that's how we can combine them with the technical skill sets. That's the actually differentiating factor. So if you're coming back to Arjun, if I ask you based on your experience, because you're working in the industry from quite a while, and then you must have seen people who have done the MBA, right? And they're coming in MBA in data science, and then they are working with you. So can you just share some of the success stories of individuals that what you have seen who have done MBA in data science, and what they have actually achieved, or what's their thought process actually, in their career advancements as well.
All right, quite a lot, I would say, including myself.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start first with you.
All right. So while I was working in a giant e-commerce company, it was a Japanese e-commerce company called Rakuten.
Yeah.
I worked there about 3 years as a backend data scientist. Although there was a lot of stakeholder management, there was a lot of communications here and there, but then that really didn't get me to the position where I was taking the product decisions. Now, this is one, I would say, uh, this is one area, or I would say one region, that data science as a product. But data science as a product, you can see it everywhere in the recommendations on your Facebook or Instagram, in the recommendations on YouTube, in everything that you purchase, there are recommendations everywhere. So the groundwork is laid flat. That is, there is one simple problem, and then you have to implement a solution to get a definitive answer, right? So this I would say product data science. But what about functional data science? There are some areas where we can use data and we can use statistical methods to make highly informed decisions, which also are good for the future. For example, even in marketing, right, we do a lot of A/B testing, and we do a lot of product market fit testing. We do a lot of geo market testing as well. So this is not something that we feed the data into an algorithm, and then the algorithm gives us the results. There is a lot of human intervention required. Now, when you say that, when you say there is a data science knowledge required and there is a high touch or high amount of human intervention required, that is where my personal MBA actually helped me a lot. And look at the jump. So going from a senior data scientist, if I had stayed in the tech company, my natural progression would have been a senior data scientist to a team lead data scientist to a data science manager, then to some sort of principal data scientist, right? Either data scientist manager or a principal data scientist, and then just over there, there's just a CIO, or we call it the chief information officer. But I took a different approach. I wanted to do something which has high human touch, and I moved into a marketing consultancy, right? So MBA, I would say, played a major role for me to transition from just being a product data scientist to becoming a functional data science person, where I understand data, I understand business. I'm able to sit in front of the client, and then I'm able to understand all their, I would say, business requirements, analyze them in my head, and then advise them the best thing to do based on the evidence collected. So I'm the very first example. And there are a few more people I do know who transition in a similar way, right? Where everyone, that their requirement and then their objective was the same, to transition from a technical role to a more functional role, and then everybody achieved. But apart from this, I want to explain, I want to talk about, one example that I saw. It is a PayPal use case, actually. PayPal actually saved $10 million by using one data analytics manager and then one intern data scientist. Now, they were actually losing out a lot of merchants because of so many reasons. They couldn't actually figure out what was the reason. Were they giving less incentives? Were they giving were they paying out less or whatever? They couldn't actually figure it out. So what the data science intern and the data science manager got together, and then they created 20 different use cases of how or why does a merchant actually quit the platform and under what circumstances. Out of these 20 different use cases, they mapped it to those mapped it to the revenue loss. So they picked up the top five use cases which were directly impacting their revenue and their merchant onboardings. And then they were able to just fix those 5 use cases and then save $10 million in a year, right? Now, this again is a functional use case of data science. It's not something that they created a system and then the system magically spit out some answer saying that, you should do this, you should do that, and solve the problem, right? This is a very hyper personalized use case which can be used only once. And these are the cases where MBA is it can be the difference between life and death, actually. Because if somebody who's just a technical person who just writes code, if he were to be put in this situation, I wouldn't imagine that much would come out of it. I mean, not even $10,000 would have been saved, let alone the $10 million, right? So yes, one use case is me, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, so thanks for sharing, Arjun. So basically, yeah, of course, it is. You can see directly the jump, and then how people, progress in their career itself while having a MBA degree. So thanks for sharing. Again, maybe on that note, if I ask Dr. Rajan sir that, I mean, what are some of the things that students usually do perform while doing at MBA when it comes to project? What kind of projects that usually universities and schools teach in MBA so that the students can be industry ready?
Yes. Actually, when we talk about this particular program, the
Mm.
data science,
Yeah.
so students should have the practical exposure. We cannot just explain them the data science in terms of the theoretical concepts or just by teaching them the statistical skills. So for that, we have there are different experiments which are done. I will come out with the first of all, the internship programs are there. So we make the students so that they get some credits in their curriculum. So compulsorily they have to do the internships. Now, finally, with this particular internships, they get a good exposure. At the same time, it helps them to be industry ready. Apart from this, there is a continuous evaluation and assessment, which is very well required. That always keeps the learner on the toes, and as well as they do maintain their continuity. So we have the case studies, I will say, like a subject called data visualization. So how to create the dashboards. So even at the institute level, we give them the problem, or some industry person, they are also associated for training and teaching program. So they do come out with their live case studies, and which are shared in the classroom sessions, where they get the good practical exposure. And even there are some portals, online portals, where the data is available. So we also ask them to complete the projects. So there is a difference, like programmer and data science, both are very different. And many a time there are myths that as a data scientist, or when I'm opting this MBA in the data science, do I require to do the coding? So the people from the management field, they have the myths like, is it a technical? So we need to explain that also. So we always give the orientation, and that orientation is very well required again.
Yeah.
And slowly they get the grip, and they make their specialization accordingly. So in the academics also, we have the program which is into map into the different verticals. Like we have the data visualization skill sets. The other is like someone good at the very good at communication, and also as a data storyteller point of view, certain projects are assigned. So if other way, having a good analytical skills and all, then accordingly kind of data, we can say the aggregation or data exploration and all. So they are engaged with the respective kind of project. So based on the students' background of their undergraduate program, accordingly, the projects are also assigned to them during the classroom sessions.
Okay.
Also, we ensure that every student should complete one basic certification. For example, completing the Power BI or Tableau one certification by the time they pass out with their entire one academic year, because this certification also helps them for the job readiness, and so they are not nowhere treated as a fresher, where the industry need to exercise on their basic skills and all. So these are all things that we do. Even we come out with some capstone projects are there, which are given to them. And so all these are the activities where we engage the students.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thanks, sir. So I think I clearly see that MBA is definitely not a easy thing to do. but it's very exciting because you'll feel the pressure directly, right? That within a short span of time, you have to do a lot of things. You need to spend your whole nights
Yes.
to actually
And
finish the
yes.
assignments and projects,
And
right?
students should have the passion about
Yeah, of course.
yes, learning as well as for the job perspective, what is looking ahead.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. So we definitely, we don't want to scare them, okay, because of this program. And then, so what advice that maybe you want to give to those who, to individuals who actually want to pursue MBA in data science? Any specific advice that you want to give to them?
My advice will be, if you really want to become a successful and want to go for some at a top management level, and you want to become a key decision maker in the corporate, where with your decisions the company's perspective can change, and which is something thrilling. I guess everyone wish that somewhere I should be one of the important stakeholder of the company. So people like this, they can these people should definitely go for this MBA in data science. At the same time, somewhere they like to maintain their low profile, but want to enjoy the job place also. So again, I will say, see, managerial skills are very important. Getting work means doing the work is easy, but getting work done in a very efficient manner. So these are the managerial skills, and people are in demand. So people with the passion, people who always wish to have the learning, they should continuously, they need to learn, and that is but natural in the company. So you should have the frequency of upgrading yourself, upskilling yourself, because today we are talking about the data science. Probably in future there may be again some advanced part of the data science. So obvious we have to be ready for the future. So students with the passion, in short, in one line, I would like to say, can definitely and willing to go for some high
Extra
perks
miles.
and top positions.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I think that is very important, sir. I think your consistency, your effort, and of course your passion, that is very important if you want to achieve something. That's the differentiating factor. So thanks for sharing that. I think to all the learners who are here, those who want to pursue, this is something very interesting and important for them. It would be roller coaster for you for sure, for being the 1 year or 2 year based on the duration, but that thing really paid off when you actually see you go into the industry. So I think that's important. Thanks for sharing this insight, sir. Okay, maybe from for Pranav, I would like to ask, because you have gone through that roller coaster already. So maybe you want to share some of the things, some of the very important, aspect which you want to share, that how that those things actually helped. You believe that that contributed to your success in getting the job, or doing good in, or taking the some managerial skill set. What are a couple of things that you learned during your course duration itself? Sorry, cannot hear you. No, you're not audible. Yes. No.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Now fine. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So what I believe that data science or data analytics was about creating charts maybe 20, 25 years ago. Then data science became about predicting the numbers maybe 10, 15 years ago. But now the data scientists and data analysts are expected to interpret the results that they get from the data models, from their models, whatever the codes they are writing, they are expected to interpret the results with the business perspective. For that, you need to know the skills such as, for example, in my course, I learned about the skills, not the technical aspect of data science, but also like brand management, risk management, strategy management. And I think it helped me a lot. It gave me a combination, or I would say a combo specialization of the business as well as the technical expertise. The projects that I did during my course, it helped me a lot to work in a simulated environment, and I believe I was able to jump 2, 3 levels in the hierarchy for which I would have waited for at least 4 or 5 years had I not gone for a course like this. So that actually helped me in this sense.
Okay. Okay, great. Great. Thanks for that. So I'm pretty sure that there would be a lot of other skill sets actually, you'll learn or you would have learned also uh, that probably wouldn't you get into that using just any kind of different courses in data science, right? So that's the strategy, that's the curriculum that how the universities and the courses they prepare, having a proper flow from a start to end, from where you want to go, along with your technical, your soft skills, your leadership, all things come along the way itself. So I think that is very important to have some structured learning, right? And that's how it is important. So thanks again for sharing the things. By the way, I'm getting a couple of questions from the our audience today, and some of these are there. So I'll just put in front of you as well, and please let the questions coming in, and we'll see that how much questions we can cover. So I got a very interesting questions here. Uh, Question is, what are some of the common misconceptions or myths about pursuing an MBA in data science? And how would you address those misconceptions based on your experience? So because Dr. Rajan sir, I think you mentioned something about the myth. I want you to answer about that. What are some of the things that what people think as a myth, for pursuing getting an MBA in data science?
Yes, I remember just when 2 years back, uh, a group of students when they came for counseling, and they were basically from the business management studies.
Mm.
And when we offer them, it was initially in terms of the specializations what we are having in the final year. So it was like a business analytics. Slowly, then it has been changed as a data science. So students were like, sir, we don't have the programming background. We don't know anything about the computer except whatever the basic ICT skills they have. So is it possible for us to pursue the degree? But it sounds interesting, but how we can cope up with that? So that time we realized that at the undergraduate level, so we somewhere need to bridge the gap. So it is nothing like that you should have the technical skills or you should know the coding. A person having the basic common sense can do the data science and can explore a lot of things. Just would like to give the example, a student having the business management skills and he has come to just pursue the degree. So what he will be learning? So he will be learning many things like obvious the basic skills like team management he can learn, team leadership he can learn, and at the same time this data science helps them that how to process the data, how to extract the facts out of the data. So simple example, like you are leading a sales team, and so now as a sales manager or sales director, I will say, or VP, in case if you get the sales vice president role, so under you there might be the different zones for sales, and you can have the product wise, zone wise, the daily data which is required for you, and accordingly you can come out with the strategies. So sometimes you have the dependency, but after learning this particular skill sets or any data visualization skills, so you yourself can generate and create your own dashboard. So after conveying them in this particular manner, so whatever their myths were there, so it was been wiped out, and so they gain that confidence. And I would like to give the example at Bombay Stock Exchange. Two of our students who went through the internship, and they were one was from the simple commerce background, and he is now playing a very important role over there after pursuing this particular program. So obvious initially there are myths, but you need to discuss. I will always say, don't leave it or don't just turn up. So I will say always communicate with the mentors, communicate with your teachers or the program directors at the institute, and try to understand, because when the moment MBA comes, so by default it is the degree which can be pursued by anyone, any undergraduate. And the data science is the specialization. So that is the specialized skills which is added. And since all business are growing now, everywhere you have the digitization, right, from the digitized payment system which has come now. So once 10 years back or 15 years back, it was the imaginary thing that even at the park side or any whatever the small businesses are there, whether they will be having the online and all. But today, see, the scenario has been changed with the UPS and all. So analyzing what is the payment frequency, everywhere now the data science is required.
Yeah, I think that's a long list of myths maybe, but I think individuals should focus on the
Exactly.
what the actual things are.
They should
And
communicate.
to
I
overcome,
will
of course.
suggest you should always talk, and
Yeah,
the communication should be there.
yeah, great, great. Thanks for the advice, sir. I think this was very important. Okay, next, coming to the another question from our audience. Uh, okay, the question here is there any okay, MBA is in high demand, but is there any specific industry or sectors where the requirement of MBA in data science is particularly high? Okay, so the question is any particular sector or industry where the MBA in data science is kind of, employees are looking for any specific things, and also what are the skill requirements vary across different these industries. So maybe I want to ask Arjun, based on your experience, what have you seen that what all industries are kind of looking for any such kind of MBA degree in data science?
Okay, interesting one. Thank you, Pranjal. So first, okay, I'd answer this question not just looking at the current scenario, but also from a futuristic perspective. Yeah, 5 to 10 years down the line also. So number one, I would say is consulting. So if you want to get into a company like McKinsey or Bain and Company or KPMG or any of these big four consultancy companies, right? So there is a huge aspect of human intervention and high touch along with your technical skills, because like I said in my previous answer as well, everything is not a product in these consultancy companies that you build. A lot of them are ad hoc projects which require a lot of client interaction, stakeholder management, risk management, understanding about the business, knowing how to use the data to come up with insights and communicate the insights. So number one for me always and always will be consulting. Now, be it the core consulting companies like McKinsey or marketing consulting companies or any other consulting companies, right? Number one requirement, which will never go away for MBA with a specialization in data science. Number two, I would say, from a futuristic standpoint, is you would be surprised by this, but I feel it will be the manufacturing industry. Now, in certain parts of the world, Industry 4.0 standards have already been adopted. And the other markets, Industry 4.0 standards are being adopted very rapidly. And even there are talks about, how to bring in Industry 5.0 standards. Now, when we talk about the advancements of the industry of the manufacturing industry, we are talking about a lot and lot of data from the sensors, and we're talking about gigafactories that will be completely automated and mega factories that will have very less human intervention. So everything will be operated by robots and by sensors, right? Now, because that now the data that is coming in is extremely rich and everything is in real time. How do you make sense out of the data in order to predict some maintenance faults or predict that something is going to go wrong or something, right? This is also where I think an MBA degree specialized in data science will come in, because an MBA person will be able to assess all the risks just by looking into, okay, I got a sensor A, B, and C. Now, a data scientist would not actually dig so much into how the specifications of the sensors work, but may directly start looking into the data. But the MBA person who has studied about risk management, like Dr. Patil mentioned, like strategy management, right? They would know what are these sensors used for, what are these sensors going to behave like, and based on that, actually suggest a strategy that will help you to do better predictive maintenance. Second one is manufacturing sector for me. right? Third sector I feel is going to be the cyber security space. Now, in cyber security, everything is data science, right? AI and ML in the cyber security forms about, I would say 75% of the entire job, because there's humongous amount of data, and then there are a lot of patterns that you need to detect, which are literally not possible by just, analyzing the data by the eye or writing a rule-based engine to detect those patterns. So everything is I would say data science and AI in cybersecurity space. Now, even in cybersecurity, you might have realized around you that a lot of new malwares are coming up into the market. A lot of new hackwares, new malwares, ransomwares, and all these are coming into the market. Now, it's not just necessary. I mean, it's not enough, I would say, to just understand how these malwares work and how these I would say ransomwares work, and then implement a solution based on that. This would be a very reactive approach. What you need is a proactive approach to actually understand how the scenario of all the malwares and ransomwares and etc. what wares are evolving, right? How the evolution is taking place, and then coming up with possible POCs or possible solutions that can actually detect even before the event becomes a catastrophic, even before the ransomware, I would say, is released at a catastrophic scale, right? So this is again where an MBA knowledge would come into place, because in cybersecurity, convincing the stakeholders that this something could be a threat is one of the hardest problems. Trust me, that is one of the hardest problems, because uh, if you implement a solution based on your knowledge and hunch, the management would say that, okay, the things that you are trying to block, whether you're trying to block a certain code to run in the background because you feel it's a threat, or whether you're trying to block some IPs or some MAC addresses because you feel that's a threat, that would actually impact the customers and impact the users. And then if they don't like it, maybe they'll stop using the antivirus, or maybe they'll stop using the VPN. But then convincing them that this is an actual threat based on what we have found and what we have seen until now, and then this could be a future threat 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, we have to act now. That is a very, very important job in the cybersecurity space. And I really think that MBA would be doing an MBA would help you to understand the entire framework of risk management, of strategic stakeholder communication, and then solution display, so that the management actually understands. So yeah, these are the
Yeah,
top.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's correct. Thanks, Arjun, on that. I think, I mean, based on cybersecurity, the finance, the banking institutes, and all, it's very common that these things are there. I think you need to basically tell management that if you want to convince them, say that, hey, I am saving your money, right? I think that is the best way that they will adopt something very fast, and that's how they will look for. So yes, of course, having this MBA degree in basically data science will help in doing the things, because data science exists everywhere. So we talk about what you just mentioned, that being it your like cybersecurity space, or being it your manufacturing space, and so on. So things are there. Data science is evolving already. It's evolved a lot, and then now we are moving towards industry 5.0, as you rightly said. There would be a huge and new demand, huge and new skill sets that what is required. We talk about, we see that Tesla, how everything is automated. I said many companies are there who are actually the independent manufacturing. There's no human interaction at all. So these things are evolving, and then so now it is very important for us to make sure that we are also to that level, and that's how we want our students, our fresh graduates, to actually go take this path and start learning, and then making sure that they are into this competitive market already, right? So thanks again for sharing. I think we have couple of more questions, but based on the time, I think we can't cover. But maybe just take one last question from here, which recently I got. Uh, so this question is again for very generic things. The question is that, in addition to your technical skills, what are the soft skills do you believe that is kind of important for any individual who is pursuing pursuing MBA in data science, to help in their career? So maybe I'll ask this to Pranav, because he's like kind of graduated from that. So I want to ask that, what are some of the soft skills that are also important, and what you have learned in MBA?
Actually, I will start with an example. Okay. So I worked previously. I worked with the Boston Consulting Group, and we were using Tableau as a data analytics tool to clean and analyze the data and also visualize it. But then we used to focus on how we are presenting it to stakeholders and the audience. Um, so I believe the data storytelling, the communication part, is one of the most important soft skills in demand and expected from the data scientist, especially those who are doing MBA, because they are on the front end side also, not just back end, but also front end side. So how they are presenting it, how they are interpreting the results and connecting the business dots over there. MBA in data science can actually help me to develop and improve such soft skills, um, such as presentation skills, emotional intelligence, cultural awareness of the stakeholders, the customers, like better understanding the customers, time and project management. I got to learn about agile frameworks, Six Sigma. So these skills also I were able to hone up during the course. And I think these are very much important in today's world to have these skills apart from the technical skills to thrive as a data scientist or even a data science manager.
Okay, okay, that was awesome example that what was just given. So, thanks, Pranav, for that. I think just to summarize, I think what we hear today is more like is having an MBA, complete the MBA degree in data science will not only give you the only the technical aspect of the things, but also the overall the required skill set that what any company or the firm is currently looking for. A lot of things are there in the whole process itself, being the journey while you're doing for the 1 year or 2 year. It's a thing. It is very structured, and that's the reason that doing just learning data science on your own for some programs that are available, I think it's better to go through a structured way where you are actually interacting, communicating with other people also, right? Because learning doesn't only come through the theories, right? You have practical experiences. People come from different industries, they take part in the course itself, and then you can share your experiences together, learn from each other, right? So that is one of the thing where you can actually do the things and excel actually in these areas as well. So thanks again, I think everyone for that. I mean, I do have some questions, but unfortunately we don't have enough time. So thanks again everyone for sharing or asking, posting the questions. We'll make sure that these questions can be answered to you on through our different channels itself, through our social media platforms. And I would really want to thank all of our panelists today from the bottom of my heart. So they come here, they spend their time, and then share their experiences as such. So it was really really privileged to have you here today. And I think if anyone, I think pretty sure we have learned today something new, something that we want to know. And for our learners who are kind of interested in doing data science, and they want to have some special degree, they would have some now knowledge that why MBA is important, why we should do it, and how we should do it. What are some of the myths that what it's there? Maybe we need to pinpoint on that as well. So thank you again, everyone. If you have anything, do let us know through our social media channels. We will make sure that your questions are answered. And thanks again for all the panelists, Arjun, Dr. Rajan sir, and Pranav for your valuable time here.
Thanks for having us over here, Pranjal. It was a
Okay.
pleasure.
Yeah. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye bye.